Good afternoon. I'm Victoria Martinez, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of El Monte. Thank you for joining us here today. Domestic violence is a serious issue in the San Gabriel Valley. In fact, for example, in the city that I represent, El Monte, between January 1st, 2014 and April 1st of this year, our El Monte Police Department handled a total of 845 domestic violence investigations, which resulted in 435 arrests. This is just a small sample of what happens throughout the San Gabriel Valley behind closed doors. These elected officials behind me, representing different agencies throughout the San Gabriel Valley, stand with me here today saying, enough, no more. It's time to break the cycle of violence, and it begins with all of us, providing the resources and the awareness of this epidemic. Today, I'm joined by Mayor of the City of El Monte, Andre Quintero, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of La Puente, Valerie Munoz, Councilwoman Violeta Lewis of the City of La Puente. She's also a registered nurse and a mandated reporter. Joining us from the City of Covina, Mayor Pro Tem Jorge Marquez. Joining us from the Charter Oak Unified Board of Trustees, Jeanette Flores, who is also a mandated reporter. We also welcome former council member Marlene Garcia, serving Baldwin Park, also a mandated reporter. Standing here with us today and involved and in charge of providing resources to so many throughout the San Gabriel Valley is our Executive Director for Spirit Family Services, Elvia Torres. There are others who have called to lend support for all the victims of domestic violence, which includes residents in each of our jurisdictions. Domestic violence is emotional, mental, and physical abuse. It does not discriminate, and it has no gender bias. Mothers, sisters, brothers, children could all be victims. Fathers, friends, neighbors could all be abusers. Even our elected officials are not immune. The news of domestic violence allegations amongst our state representative and his wife, our colleague, saddened me. In fact, it enraged me. It was a brutal reminder that domestic violence doesn't discriminate. Standing on the steps of this courthouse, we're joined together in demanding justice for all those who suffer in silence or suffer in fear, afraid of retaliation or lack of resources. How many accusations does it take before somebody dies, before we get an arrest, before there's a conviction? By not saying anything, do we condone abuse? Domestic violence is the most underreported crime. It takes courage to request the support of a restraining order. It's born out of fear, and the fear of the abuser often wins out. Why? Sometimes it's fear that no one will understand. Sometimes it's fear that no one will speak my language. Sometimes it's fear that there won't be resources for my children. To those who have taken a stand against their abuser, regardless of the bully tactics, sometimes in fear for their lives or the lives of their children, you are brave and strong, and you should be commended. 4 years ago, a leader in our community spoke up when allegations were presented against the local legislator who serves our community in the Assembly. She's here today to share more facts about this unfortunate situation. Please welcome former Baldwin Park Council member Marlene Garcia.
Good afternoon. On October 31st, 2012, as former Baldwin Park Councilwoman, I held a press conference after news broke that State Assemblymember Roger Hernandez was facing domestic violence allegations. This was not the first time he had faced allegations of abuse, and it wouldn't be the last time, obviously. Just last week, the headline in the LA Times reads, "Judge orders West Covina Assemblyman to stay away from wife following domestic violence allegations." Let's review the allegations and his responses. In 2007, West Covina police called to his home regarding a domestic disturbance with his former female campaign manager. In response, Mr. Hernandez filed a complaint against the West Covina Police Department, complaining of falsifying a police record. No charges were filed. In 2012, his ex-girlfriend files a restraining order after altercation at Lazy Dog Cafe in West Covina. Claims included beating her with a belt and slamming her against a wall. His lawyers called the suit frivolous, so no charges were filed. Now we fast forward to 2016. His wife, an elected official, files for a restraining order, citing she was physically attacked, assaulted, battered, and suffered injuries. She attached several photos, including one of a bruised and scratched left arm. She also accused Hernandez of damaging numerous items of personal property in his violent and out-of-control anger. Hernandez's attorney called the allegation trumped up and smoke and mirrors. Case is pending. I want you to notice the pattern of abuse and of the minimizing of these accusations. 3 accusations in less than 10 years. These, folks, are the facts. These are the reasons anyone who lives in the 48th Assembly District should ask themselves if this is the man they want representing them. While he terms out soon, he currently finds himself absorbed in more legal turmoil and unable to do the bidding of the people of California that he has been elected to do. Enough of the negative headlines. He's got DUI, FPPC fraud, domestic violence. You bring to our region and the people you serve some discredit here. We are an embarrassment to our people, the people of this region. Enough is enough. Mr. Hernandez, you do not represent me. You never did. You do not represent us, the people, because the people have spoken. Those who are here take a stand against abusers. Mr. Hernandez, you do not represent the thousands of victims of abuse. Now, to speak about resources, we welcome La Puente Mayor Pro Tem Valerie Munoz to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, and I want to thank you for allowing me here to speak on behalf of today's issues. For those of you who are suffering in silence, it's time to come out of the shadows. There are resources for you, and there are people and organizations that are out there available and ready to help for anyone who is in a circumstance such as this. The National Domestic Violence Awareness Hotline is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they have trained advocates that are ready to give the support to these victims that they deserve. There are no fees, there are no names, no judgment, just help. Their number is 1-800-799-7233. At a more local level, we have YWCA, WINGS, Women in Need Growing Strong Domestic Violence Program. This program began in West Covina in 1979, and it operates one of the largest domestic violence shelters in the Los Angeles County. WING's goal is to help domestic violence victims and their dependent children move out of the crisis situation and get the help that they deserve. Their 24-hour crisis helpline is 626-967-0658. Their website is www.ywcasgv.org. And today we have Spirit organization that's here behind us, and they are a family service that is here representing and providing the resources and information for today. Spirit Family Services has 2 locations in the San Gabriel Valley, a very local organization. And they also brought information from their Avon Foundation No More campaign. The Avon campaign was launched back in March of 2013 by a coalition of leaders or large service providers and groups. And they're supported by more than hundreds of local and national affiliations and groups. as well as the U.S. Department of Justice. They are known by their signature blue pin that we have here today, and their goal is to show this symbol and show the visibility and increase awareness of violence and sexual assault. For more information on the two, we have nomore.org and www.spiritwith2ts.org. As elected official in the San Gabriel Valley, I believe that we owe it to the people that we represent to hold ourselves to a higher standard. When we breach the public's trust with our actions, we insult the people who put us in office, and we also further erode the faith in government that is so essential for our democracy and for the function of it. Roger Hernandez has breached the public's trust more than one occasion, and it's time for him to act responsibly on behalf of the people he represents and is seeking to represent and step aside. I, along with my colleagues, say no more. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem.
A few facts as we close out today. Women ages 18 to 34 are at greatest risk of becoming victims of domestic violence. 1 in 4 women are victims of intimate partner abuse, while 1 in 7 men experience the same. 85% of domestic violence victims are women. Let's also remember the incidental victims that are mothers, fathers of those women or men. Let's remember the children that have to visually see abuse happening before their eyes, and those children who that's the example of love that they are witnessing and will eventually recreate. It's time to break the cycle. A devastating fact that I came across that I wanted to share with you is that every 9 seconds, let me repeat that. Every 9 seconds, a woman in the United States is assaulted or beaten. That's disturbing. Today, if we've opened the door to one more victim of abuse to step out of the shadows, if we have raised our community's alert level as to the pattern of abuse exhibited by our assembly member, if we have educated one more survivor as to the resources available in our region, then today was a success. Thank you all very much for attending.